Secrets with us. Good part of the day, dear our viewers and observant IELTS learners. The program of IELTS Secrets is again with you. Dear viewers, I want to ask you to come closer to your TV because we have very unusual conversation with Farangiz Murodiy. As information, Farangiz got 8 band score on the IELTS exam, and recently she has entered to Stanford University in America. And today, dear viewers, you can learn not only the secrets of achieving an 8 band score on the IELTS exam, but also how to apply and enter American University. If it is interesting for you, dear learners, continue watching and stay with us. Good part of the day, Farangiz, welcome to our studio. I'm very happy to see you here.
Happy to see you too. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Thank your visit too. Farangiz, before starting our main conversation about IELTS exam, about achieving a high band score on the IELTS exam, please introduce yourself for our viewers.
Okay, I was born in Uzbekistan and I also lived in Turkey for several years. And recently I had a great news that I got accepted to the Stanford University, which is one of the top colleges in the world. And also I'm proud to represent Uzbekistan there as the first bachelor students who got into Stanford University. And then I also have a SAT score of 1560. I think that's it. Right
okay. First of all, I congratulate you all success and wish you again success in your future study in America. And let's start our conversation with your IELTS history. How was it? Where did you prepare and what kind of skills did you have some difficulty, let's say?
Okay, everything started with learning English, right? So I learned my fundamental English knowledge in school. I went both in Turkey and Uzbekistan, both public schools. And then I was very interested in learning languages because when I went to Turkey, I already learned another language, right? And I learned Turkish. And I saw that learning language is not only important for passing the test or something else, it's also a key for the knowledge in this language, like whole knowledge in this language, right? I got very interested in learning English too. So I was very interested in learning English in school. I tried to go extra mile every time I learned English. For example, I did the homework in English, but I also looked at synonyms for every word. I created sentences for myself. And it's like it was out of passion kind of thing. And I think that learning English was very, I'm grateful that I learned English because like I said, it opened a key for the whole world of knowledge. And yeah, as we know, like a lot of information, a lot of innovations and the latest news are in English, and so that I can keep up to the news, I can learn anything that I want with searching in English.
Yes, you are right. Learning a language can open more doors for everyone, and learning a language can open new world for everyone as well. And my next question for you, how long have you been learning English, and how many times did you take IELTS exam in order to get a 8 band score on the IELTS exam?
Okay, yeah, continuing my IELTS journey, so I started with my English journey, right? So I started learning English, as I said, in public school, just lessons, and then my self-study. And after that, in the beginning of my 10th grade, I decided to take IELTS. I needed to go some kind of IELTS course to prepare for that, right? And in the beginning of the 10th grade, I was in Tashkent. I was studying in Tashkent. And then at the beginning of it, I attended for 8 months of course in some kind of learning center here. and I learned there. So my journey with the IELTS started when I was in the 10th grade, and I started from the beginning, learning all the structures of reading and every section of it. Also, how it continued during the process, I finished that course, and then after 10th grade, I went back to Turkey. So I continued my studies there. I didn't take any IELTS until I was at the end of the 12th grade. And in 2020, in the February, I guess, I took IELTS and I got 7.5. But before that, yeah, I had a knowledge from my course from that 10th grade, like 2 years ago. But to renew that knowledge and to repeat that, I self-studied before my test, after I registered for the IELTS test. And during my self-studying period, I knew that I already had information about the structure and how I can study for that. Most of the time, I focused on practicing from the Cambridge practice tests, which was very useful for me because they are very similar to real tests, and I paid attention to test myself as I'm in the real test condition. So I also advise students to do that, test themselves in a real test condition, because most of the time students give themselves a lot of time. For example, if the reading is 60 minutes, 3 hours or like that. But it's important to keep up with the speed too. So keep up with the speed of the test. So that programs your mind. If you constantly do practice test in a real test condition, you program your mind with that time, with 60 minutes only. So that's how I was able to manage my time during the reading portion. Yeah.
To get a 8 band score, right?
Yeah. When it comes to getting 8, it was in November last year, 2022. I will get to that point too. So I got my 7.5 in my first try, and it was in 2020. And then I have graduated from the high school in 2020 from Turkey, and after that, when I went back to Uzbekistan, I developed myself in different fields like economics, psychology, which is my main interest. I wanted to retake the IELTS, even though I already had 7.5. I wanted to retake the IELTS because I wanted to apply to US colleges, and I wanted to apply to top ones. When it comes to why I took IELTS the second time and I got 8 band score, I needed to take IELTS because as the expiration date of the IELTS is 2 years, I had to do that. And in the November, I retook the IELTS and then I got 8. For that, I self-studied for, I guess, nearly 2 weeks or something like that. I didn't have to study a lot. Yeah, that's how I got 8 band score, and then, yeah.
Did you take an IELTS exam in Uzbekistan or in Turkey?
In my first try, it was in Turkey in 2020. I took in Turkey. But when it comes to the latest one, the second one, which I got 8, I took in Uzbekistan.
Is there any difference between the difficulties of IELTS exam in Turkey or in Uzbekistan? Because most of students have an idea if they take an IELTS in other countries, they will get a high band score. How do you think?
I don't think that it's true. I think this is the wrong perspective to look at the IELTS exam. There's no difference between Turkey, Uzbekistan, or any other countries. The IELTS is standardized test, so it is the same as a format, a structure, and scoring. It is the same for all the countries, and because of that, I don't think that students should change country to take IELTS. It will not change their scores. Instead of focusing on the country, they should focus on studying more at that time that they will spend to change country or go there or spend money to that. Instead of that, they can spend that money to learn more English with taking a course or something.
Yes, you are right. I can see that most of students think if they are taking IELTS in December or in a Kazakhstan, let's say, they will get a high band score compared to Uzbekistan. That's why I'm asking these questions. Very good result. I congratulate you on gaining 8 band score on the IELTS exam. You could it perfectly, although you are very young.
Thank you very much. I think that I could have done better in certain sections because as it was in a hurry that I took my IELTS, because in November I had to pay attention to my college application essays, I had to pay attention to my extracurriculars and taking also SAT. And like because of that I wasn't able to dedicate myself